they give me money, I don't chop the money, only me. I said they don't give me anything in this my sister, they spent everybody.
No.
They said I give me, I said to everybody was mending me now. I said, where the money there?
Weep if it relieves or even elevates your spirit. Let the tears flow if they run down your cheeks because of a deep sense of joy and happiness. These declarations capture what transpired last Wednesday when anti-corruption icon Mrs. Modesta Oforbuike visited the offices of Signature Communications Limited, producers of the television program Corruption Tori.
Madam, please.
Oh my God,
Madam, no. Please stand up, stand up. Madam, it's okay. It's okay, please.
That you start to bring this money, God will bless everybody. God will protect your family. God will see you and trust you and children.
It's okay, just stand up. Stand up, please, madam, please.
Thank you.
Hey, please, madam, please. Oh, madam, please. Please.
The story of Mrs. Modesta Oforbuike is a testimonial to integrity and strength of character. In 2021, Modesta had won the prestigious Anti-Corruption Icon Award, a recognition by Corruption Tori for not converting a large sum of money forgotten in her business premises by a man and his wife, but returned the amount whole and entire.
Some people came to jollificate in her restaurant. After jollificating, they were so happy that they forgot all their money in the place and went home. How much did they forget in your restaurant?
60,000.
60,000 naira. And if you have been to Modesta's restaurant, you will know that she needs that money to uplift her restaurant. But she said no. I started looking for those people and returned that money intact. Yes, 60,000 is not 1 million, but if you steal 60,000, you can steal 1 billion. So we are presenting this to you, Modesta Oforbuike, in recognition of your anti-corruption efforts. And we are doing this on behalf of MacArthur Foundation, our supporters, Signature Television, and our program, Corruption Tori.
But soon after Modesta received the award, her business collapsed because she could not afford the rent for her shops and one-room residential accommodation. She withdrew her children from school and returned to her village. The Signature show brought her story to the public attention because her circumstance was about to send the wrong message that our society does not care about integrity.
A woman who has shown such fortitude, such uprightness, such sincerity, such monumental integrity should be able to be helped in order to encourage and motivate other citizens. As the person representing her, do my best to encourage her, to ensure that perdition is alleviated.
Indeed, the Deputy Minority Leader in the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Toby Okechukwu, weighed in to support the rehabilitation of Modesta Oforbuike.
On behalf of my constituents and my family, my wife, I'm happy to support her, to try to rediscover her bearing, to get her bearing with the sum of 500,000 naira.
On behalf of Corruption Tori, on behalf of Signature Television, on behalf of our supporters, MacArthur Foundation, and our representative, Honorable Tobi Okechukwu, who is also the Deputy Minority Leader of Nigeria's House of Representatives. We make this donation of 500,000 naira.
Last Wednesday, Signature Communications Limited, producers of Corruption Tori, which is supported by the MacArthur Foundation, announced more donation and a promise to push her case to more Nigerians who wish to support the fight against corruption by rewarding integrity.
Signature Communications and Mrs. Oforbuike opened a joint account in Enugu, where we put that 500,000 naira. And then we continued to talk to Nigerians, and I must say that what happened was not encouraging at all. People wrote letters, sent us texts, oh, wonderful woman, oh, we need more people like her. But no Nigerian sent 1 naira. So, at the end of the day, we said, we can't let her continue just staying at home.
Sure.
If it's 500,000 that we have, we should make it available to her. But we also sat as a team and said that we task each one of us, members of Signature. We deducted money from everybody, and as an organization, we added 250,000 to her 500,000. Because Nigerians were not answering, and we felt that for what she had done, we can't just, so we taxed ourselves, and we were able to raise 250,000. And I must thank my colleagues for that sacrifice.
The handing over of the banking documents for money realized, which was done by the country director, MacArthur Foundation, Dr. Kole Shetima, and Chief Executive Officer of Signature Communications Limited, V. Martin Obiora Ilo, opened the floodgates of gratitude and the emotion which her situation had locked in her spirit.
On behalf of MacArthur Foundation and Signature Communications, we are giving you this letter. It's addressed to the manager of United Bank for Africa and the Minister of Enugu. When you present this, we will remove all our names and have this account totally in your care and in your management. And what we have in this account is 750,000 naira.
God will protect your family. God will see you and trust you and children.
It's okay, just stand up. Stand up.
The country director of MacArthur Foundation, who had a word of advice from Mrs. Oforbuike, also spoke on the need for Nigerians to recognize and appreciate honesty.
Always very difficult for people who are in a very difficult position to not be tempted by what she has seen. But God works in various ways and in various miraculous ways as well. So we thank you very much for all that you have shown and for all that you are doing. And of course also for the Signature team for recognizing that this is a very important thing and to give her the opportunity to start her life. And I'm sure that God will bless the money that have been collected, and I'm sure it will multiply and multiply. And I'm sure you'll be much more better with that. I think this is very important recognition that we need to have some safety net for people. Otherwise, people will not stick their neck out for good things if they feel that the consequences of doing that will be disastrous.
Mrs. Oforbuike and one of her friends expressed their gratitude and spoke of their resolve to push incorruptible character in their dealings.
I don't expect all this from me. Look at me, I don't have anything. Look at the kind of money where they carry give me. Jesus, I feel very good. I encourage everybody to do good. Even if you have the little one that you have, use it and help people, or do something that this God will never leave you and He will reward you later. God will bless them and God will reward them. And then they continue to do good for people. God will never put them to shame. And their family and their children.
I tell them that to do good is good. To do bad is not good. When you do good, even people go than you, your reward is still in heaven. Almighty, you reward them one by one. They will not lack. When we visit them according to their high desire, Before you do that money, leave my sister. Let God multiply it back for them in 100-folds.
Modesta's story confirms what the greatest boxer of all time, Muhammad Ali, once said: "It is not all win that determines a man of character, but to be down on the canvas and still rise to defeat your circumstance." Marvelous Oboman for Signature Show.